Hi everybody, Dhaman Mehta here, and thank you for once again joining me on my journey as I go through my favorites list on fanfiction.net. I got 7 stories for you now, so let's dive in, starting with reading Fils de l'Amour, The Mark of Athena. This is a continuation of the reading fix of the other story where Naruto is the son of Aphrodite, and after canon jumps into the Percy Jackson world. And this is a reading of the second Hero of Olympus book that happens. I'm not 100% sure. I dropped the first one off my list because it was a pretty standard Naruto just gets added to the roster +1 style story. Nothing really funny on the reaction side. Here, it does veer off of canon a bit more. However, it didn't grip my attention and didn't really interest me, and the reactions still weren't really that engaging to me on a personal level. Plus, it wasn't complete, so all overall, this one's gonna fall off my list. Number 2 is Identity Crisis by sakurademonalchemist, and this is a Harry Potter and Doctor Who crossover, specifically with the 10th Doctor's duplicate that happens, I want to say, at like the end of the Tennant's second season, or was it the first end of Tennant's first season, where that, but honestly, the Doctor Who element is honestly rather minor. He doesn't get his own TARDIS, he doesn't go through stuff like that. It's just used as a excuse because what happens, that duplicate gets de-aged and becomes Harry, and it's just an excuse to make Harry smarter and have the Doc's intellect and stuff. And then aside from that, the only other real Doctor Who element is that other named characters are cameos of the other Doctor's companions, stuff like Rory and Amy and such. The story itself is pretty much Harry and his friends having a non-Hogwarts education. They go to some other school, and it's all about being techno-magic and having a lot of smarts and so much better than Hogwarts and stuff, and it's just really cool. And then there's another fantasy element that comes in with another crossover, and there really isn't any story that happens. It's more just kind of school random life happening with occasional mentions of, hey, Dumbledore wants something or whatever, but nothing else. But then it just puttered into things like VR and battles and MMOs and making your own avatar and getting freaking servants and stuff. It's weird. I just didn't really care. It's gonna fall off my list. Number 3 is The Gamer Girl by ThePhantomScribe. This is a Ruby fic where Blake unlocks the power of the gamer and starts leveling up and such, and eventually falls in gets together with John and Ruby stuff. Not as much stat screen vomit as many other gamer fics, and the story doesn't really follow canon. There's a whole new element with mana being a thing that's super dust or something like that, and there's a new MacGuffin that adds new elements. As I was reading, I just kind of grew bored. It's not terrible, it's just kind of mid. No real humorous moments, no kind of drama stuff, so it's really just the plot and the story going on, and that didn't engage me and wasn't compelling enough to be the only point, the main point of reading this. It's very possible that if I came across this as it had was being written more, and there was a lot less at the time that I initially read. That's there was only 2 or 3 chapters, and then I came back to this every other week or so, and there was a new chapter or however long it was going. I don't think I would have minded it, and I honestly don't think I care. I'm not saying this is bad, but it's not going to be on my favorites list, because my favorites list is again for things that I want to come back and reread and that I really enjoy. That's a main thing I want to just highlight. It's and this I just I didn't really care, and I didn't finish it. So this is gonna fall off my list. Next is Projected Denial by The Distorted Shadow. This is a Fate Stay Night fic where Shiro actually knows a true magic but is in denial about it. It's that's the major joke And it's just a fun bit of crack where, like, you know, Shiro knows the first true magic and is just casually overpowered, and it's all just like has a fun air of casual ridiculousness that I just found really enjoyable and kept a smile on my face the entire time I was reading. And it solves, like, you know, it goes through the whole thing in like 10 chapters, and then the other 5 chapters are a second story of going into another crossover, which sadly doesn't get completed, but it's still a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. It's going to stay on my list. Number 5 is Ruby Markiplier by Lemao. This is a Ruby like reaction fic where the Team Ruby and for a bit Team Juniper go on DustTube and watch Markiplier videos and like watch a couple of his videos. It's fun. Like they pick like they pick a decent chunk of videos, mostly like short ones and animations and stuff. But I liked it a lot, and the reactions of the teams match like Mark's energy in the videos, so it feels really fun. It feels fun and engaging, and like gets a good bit of laughs. And it even gets sentimental with the last chapter that the author put out, which is a tribute to Mark's friend that passed away from Sindago, Daniel Kyer. And while that could have been like very cringy or everything, like I think if he actually manages to feel like genuinely heartfelt and sincere, and so I did enjoy that. And yeah, I just enjoyed it overall, and just wish there had been more chapters of other Markiplier videos for them to watch. But yeah, so it's gonna stay on my list. Number 6 is The Rap Sheet of Malcolm Reynolds by Demons Run When a Good Man Goes to War. This is a fun little one-shot that has like the detectives of Castle all talk about they come across a case, and like one guy mentions Malcolm Reynolds, so they go find the files they have and then talk about how crazy and dangerous this guy is. Which is, you know, it's just a fun bit poking at the fact that, you know, Castle, the TV show, was you know, the actor was Nathan Fillion, who was also obviously Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly, and it's just poking at like, oh, he's there, and like the guys that they're so afraid of is the guy that they constantly make fun of as the writer, as the, you know, Castle, who's just a writer in their eyes. It's mildly amusing, just poking at this connection. There's no explanations for how Castle's there, how these people how the police from the past supposedly or whatever have all of these files and stuff. Like nothing's told. It's just saying, hey, these two guys are the same person. Isn't it cool? Like whatever. It's mildly amusing, but not something that needs repeat visits. So it's gonna fall off my list. And the final one for this video is Reading Olympian One-Offs by Engineer Forever. This is in the same continuity of reading fics as the first story in this video, which is again like it's about Naruto being a son of one of the Olympians. Here, this one is a one-shot collection where Naruto is like, you know, each chapter is like basically him being a random Olympian's son. There are a couple that actually have multiple chapters in. I mentioned this, I believe, in like the last video actually, where you know, I thought like the stories themselves were engaging and they stayed on my list. Here, the reactions are good too, and it helps because of the fact that it's different Olympians each chapter or so, and there's different people reading. Like the reading goes back and forth, so the banter and the poking and prodding and the, you know, all the stuff gets targeted at everybody else, and because of that, it keeps it engaging. Whereas, you know, most of the Percy Jackson fics that I've read that are reaction fics stuff, usually, and especially the ones that are focused on a single story or stuff, it all is always just like the single target, and then the author will have like four insults or 4 things, and they just keep repeating those things over and over again because it's the same people talking at the same target. It's always just, oh, it's just Artemis and Aphrodite at each other, or it's just Apollo and Artemis at each other, or it's this Athena poking at Poseidon, like, and it's just the same 4 things they say over and over again. Here, at least, it's the same 4 things each pair has, but it's all of them saying that, and it's spread across, and it rotates between them before it comes back to say the same 4 things. So it at least puts variety in, and the actual demigods and stuff are there as well that lead to some interestingness. So I did enjoy this, and I would recommend it, and it's going to stay on my list. So there we have it for this video. Fan fiction status time. I've now read 1,146 stories, and 535 of them have managed to stay on my list. So there we go. I am actually now down to under 100 stories left on this goddamn list. So hopefully by the end of this year, I'll be able to finish this. But yeah, as always, I leave links to the stories in the description of this video, as well as links to my profile forum where I post this all in written form and all this stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.